Hello everyone and welcome to round 9 of the URL-GT1 championship from Mid-Ohio. It's the second to last race of the championship, so it's money time for all the championship contenders. In qualifying, Peter Bacchus took the pole with a 1:15.3, just in front of Joel Blewett, who makes a return to URL with a second place on the grid. Third place was Manlio Liguori in his Lamborghini Murcielago. In the AM Cup, it was Felix Boucher taking the pole in front of Matthias Christensen and then Ethan Bass in third position. And looking at the championships, Tony Ukic, the pro championship leader, will be starting in P8. And in the AM Cup, Flori Manolace will be starting 2 places in front of Andrei Golubnici, and they are battling it out for the AM championship. So let's have a look at the start of the race. So here's the grid. Peter Bacchus on the right in the blue Maserati, leading the team's championship as well with Tony Ukic. It's Florian Kutz who has to take avoiding action, and it's 3 wide here in the front. Manlio Liguori putting his car in between, but has to back out of it. So everyone cleanly through turn 1. The next hairpin will be very, very tricky on cold brakes. Tony Ukic has to take avoiding action. There is some carnage. The 2 BNT competition guys are involved. Also Alex Scott, I see. But here it's Matthias Christensen against Florin Manolace. And Manlio Liguori is now in P1. So here they are streaming on the back straight. Joel Blewett unfortunately fell back to P18 from his second grid spot. So it's Lamborghini at the front with Robert Horvat and Manlio Liguori. Yevgeny Leonov is in third. Peter Abelovsky is in fourth, and then it's Miguel Santiago Carao in fifth, followed by Florian Kutz. Felix Boucher is the best AM guy in P7, followed by Flori Manolace. So the carnage made some AM guys be further up the grid than they normally are in the opening lap. So let's see how this plays out. The end of lap 1. Here are the standings, so we see 3 AM guys in P5, 6 and 7. Let's see how long they can stay there and if they can battle each other, of course. Unfortunately, there was a collision between Miguel Santiago Carao and Florian Kutz. So they are now running in second to last and last position, as we see here. So Peter Bacchus was involved with Alex Scott in front and Tony Ukic as well in the opening carnage here in this turn. Peter Bacchus here goes for the inside and takes the position from Alex Scott. Can he immediately take P8 from his teammate? Let's see what happens, because here is Matthias Christensen. He's not defending very hard, so he's letting the two Maseratis go, which might be a wise decision, of course. Goes a bit wide, so Alex Scott can go through. And here it's Tony Ukic and Peter Bacchus behind Flori Manolace. Peter Bacchus goes for the inside into turn 1, and he gets it done. A small touch on his teammate. And that's unfortunate. He loses the position to Alex Scott. So small contact between the 2 teammates. Peter Bacchus now gaining the position on Flori Manolace as well. So up to P6, and here Matthias Christensen battling it out. Mihovil Markovic behind him, and Matthias loses 1 position. Michal Klisch here in P12 is also involved. And Mihovil Markovic gets pushed wide of the track and loses 1 or 2 positions, unfortunately. And Michal Klisch passes Matthias Christensen for P10, who is in front. It's Alex Scott in P9. So very fierce battles here in the opening laps of our Mid-Ohio race. Everyone wants to do well here to keep the championships open and up for grabs in Spa next season. Looking ahead from Michal Klisch, it's Alex Scott and then Flori Manolace these are some AM guys. Bunching the pack up a bit, and that's gives us some interesting racing. Michal Klisch can't get close enough, but Alex Scott puts himself on the inside and gets past Florin Manarace. Can Michal do the same? Yes, he goes for the inside. Very brave move there, and Mihovil Markovic as well goes past, or no, he doesn't. He doesn't yet. So it's all very close here still. Tony Ukic now down to P13, and in the AM Cup there were some battles further down the grid as well between Sandro Donadel and Andrei Golubnici. Andrei is leading the Ironman Championship now as an AM driver, which is nice to see. He gets passed by Sandro now, but all he has to focus on is not losing too many laps and just finishing the race. And I'm very sure he knows that. So Manuel Liguori put a bit of a gap in P1, but he spun unfortunately, and he will be losing 1, 2, 3 positions at least to Robert Horvat, Yevgeny Leonov and Peter Abelovsky. Miguel Santiago Carao and Florian Kutz behind were picking up the places after their collision in lap 1. Here they go past Ethan Bass in the yellow Ford, and also past Andrei Golubnici. So here's Florian Kutz a little bit further back. Also he will want to get past and stay in the slipstream of Miguel to get into that top 10 again, or try to get there at least. Ethan Bass goes a bit wide. Andrei tries to go for the outside, but that gives Florian Kutz an option to go up the inside, so he gains 1 position. Can he immediately get past Ethan Bass as well? Oh, there's smoke here. Matthias Christensen went off the track. And here, oh, Sandro Donadel goes onto the grass, and Miguel has to go around the outside, and he takes a position. So P12, Ethan Bass now goes for the pass on Sandro Donadel, and he gets past together with Florian Kutz. So very tricky conditions here. Pros mixed with AM guys, and that gives us some pretty good racing. Here are the leaders, and that's Peter Abelovsky getting past Yevgeny Leonov for P2. Important move. So now the 2 Lamborghinis, the 2 teammates, are in front. Not always going well for Tony Ukic, championship leader, as he got onto the grass and spun on main straight. So Robert Horvat followed Peter Abelovsky, Peter Bakus, and Yevgeny Leonov got past Manuel Liguori as well after a mistake. And Felix Boucher was still running in P6 after quite some laps. So he's the first AM driver in P6. And as you can see, there's a bit of a train behind him. Joel Blewett, Alex Scott as well behind. So Felix flashes his lights. He feels like he had enough from the pressure. He will just run his own race to win the AM Cup race. And that's past Joel Blewett and Alex Scott. Michal Klisch also got close to Felix. Oh, and he had a spin, just got onto the grass and loses some positions. Here's Miguel Santiago Carao and his teammate Florian Kutz, Tony Ukic as well. So very unfortunate for Michal Klisch. Then battling for P2 was Peter Abelovsky and Peter Bakus. Side by side, absolutely side by side. Can Peter Bakus go up the inside? There is some space, but superior grip for Peter Abelovsky. He stays in front. He stays in P2. Oh, and a big slide from Peter Bacchus, and he will lose that position to Manuel Liguori. And also Peter Abelovsky spun on his own, so that gives Manuel Liguori back second place. Drama on this lap for the front runners. Florian Kutz then got very, very close to Miguel Santiago Carao. Oh, and he cut him off a little bit. Very nice to see them both, well, more or less unharmed. They are now behind Felix Boucher, as we can see, in the Italian-colored Pagani. And already on the next lap it was Florian Kutz completing his passing move on Miguel. Miguel not going defensive, but losing the position. So he will want to follow through to get into that top 10 spot, which Florian Kutz now has. Manuel Liguori closed down the gap to Robert Horvat, and it got very, very close between the two Lamborghinis, both on different tire compounds, but no pass yet. Peter Abelovsky in third, then Peter Bacchus, Yevgeny Leonov, and he gets passed by Mihovil Markovic, so he gets a good bounce back from that opening lap position. And here are the standings in lap 28, just before the pit stop. Some drivers already pitted, as we will see. Yevgeny Leonov is in P6, then it's Joel Blewett in P7, Florian Kutz and Miguel Santiago Carao. Florin Manolace was first in the AM Cup now, after Felix Boucher already had pitted. Tony Ukic and Felix Boucher now coming out of the pits. Ethan Bass was in 17th, followed by Chris Simpson, and Sandro Donadel unfortunately retired from the race. Florian Kutz and Joel Blewett came into the pits nose to tail, and look at how crowded the pits was. So everyone decided to, a lot of drivers decided to pit on the same lap. And we'll see if that was a good idea or not. Here we see Yevgeny Leonov. And oh, that's Ethan Bass and Mihovil Markovic having a small collision. Yevgeny Leonov taking the advantage and taking P5 from Mihovil. A lap later, Mihovil would still be chasing, and in the Ferrari 550 he has some good straight line speed. What we saw last race in Road Atlanta, that the Nissan is also very, very quick. However, it seems like the Ferrari will have the advantage. Coming up to the right-hander here. Yes, he completes the pass, and he is in P4. Just behind them is Michal Klisch, and that's the story of the pit stops. He didn't change tires, got out in P3 I think, but he's now falling back. In the post-race reports we also read that he was a bit short on fuel, so also fuel saving, and he will want to try and minimize the damage. But he can help his teammate here. Florian Kutz is right behind him. Small love tap on Yevgeny, and here that's some very clever team play. Michal Klisch legitimately blocking Yevgeny, and Florian Kutz going through. Here is Miguel Santiago Carao following Joel Blewett and closely following Michal Klisch. Small tap from Joel Blewett, and can Miguel squeeze through? Well, he is on the outside here, but let's see if he can put it around the outside. He brakes late, keeps it on the track and completes the pass. So P6 for Miguel Santiago Carao there. Michal Klisch falling back little by little, trying to defend as good as he can. Here again, will he lose the position to Joel Blewett or not? I'm sure he will defend very hard. He keeps his car around the outside. If he can keep his nose in, he has the right to this corner here, but he doesn't have the grip, so Joel Blewett goes through for P7. Then here, Felix Boucher got out of the pits behind Florin Manolace, but here they are very close together and battling for the lead in the AM Cup. Oh, a small tap from Ethan Bass on Felix Boucher, but he keeps it on the track. Let's see if we will have a lead change. Let me remind you that Andrei Golubnici is leading the championship, so Florin Manolace, who is in second, can use all the points he can get. He will want to win this race in the AM Cup, but it seems like Felix Boucher is a bit too quick for him. He makes the pass. Let's see if he can still pass him in the end, but that will not be the case because we will end the race with a first ever win at URL by Robert Horvat. He will take P1 and very solid race from him. Alex Scott will finish in P2. So a lot of happened during the pit stops. A lot of people had problems, which put Alex Scott and Florian Kutz, who was in last place after the first lap, in P3. Then Yevgeny Leonov, Miguel Santiago Carao to make up the top 5. Mirovil Markovic, Peter Abelovsky in P7. Joel Blewett will finish in P8. Then Michal Klisch managed to stay within the top 10, and Tony Ukic, championship leader, in P10. Manuel Liguori had to go into the pits on the final lap, so he will lose a couple positions as well. And here are the AM guys also finishing their race. Chris Simpton doing some donuts, and we'll have a look at the standings right now. So Robert Horvat takes the win in front of Alex Scott and Florian Kutz in the AM Cup. Felix Boucher, as we saw, took first position in front of Florin Manolace and Andrei Golubnici. So next week is the last race of the season. We will be going to Spa with a Super Pole qualifying. Join us at unitedracersleague.com and see you next week.